Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of the Geeks and Gamers podcast. This week we have got a more comic book based show to bring to you. Well, I say comic book based, actually, it's a bit of both. We've got a good mix this week. So, first topic we're going to kick off with has to be what's your favourite superhero? Now, I'm not going to go first here because I share mine with somebody else. So, in fact, I think I'm going to let Dan go first.
My favorite superhero is Batman. The reason I like Batman because, well, unlike other superheroes, he doesn't actually have any superpowers, and instead of having superpowers, he uses his own strength, training, and intelligence to fight crime. And he also comes from a tragic background, the death of his parents, and growing up with his butler Alfred, he learned the skills he needed to fight crime, and he also wanted to avenge his parents. So I think he has a noble cause. And also, I just like the Dark Knight movie. It's my favorite movie of all time.
Right, well, just to point out a fact, you know when they originally released the Batman comics? Right, nowadays he's all no killing, tie him up and ship him off. When they actually released the original Batman comics, he was actually a stone cold killer.
Oh.
The first issues, if you ever manage to find them, you'll see him walking around with machine guns and stuff like that. He was really badass back then. But I think they sort of took the side of it. Almost goes in the same aspect as Arrow, where he started off as a
I was going to say
murderer.
that, Luke.
Yeah, he starts
like
off like Arrow, and in the sense that he's a bit of a murderer, and then all of a sudden he has that sudden enlightenment and realizes, you know what, this isn't the way to work it. But yeah, I just sort of put that fun little fact in there anyway.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's something to think about. Right, so we'll move on now to Paul. Go on, who's yours?
Mine is the Hulk. And it's not because I read the comic books when I was younger or anything like that. It was actually for the fact that when I was young, used to go around to my dad's at the weekend and watch the Lou Ferrigno Hulk on the TV series. And really enjoyed that. It was a good time spending with my dad. And yeah, that's one of the reasons. Then I've read quite a few of the comics, and Planet Hulk is just brilliant. Really interesting sort of storyline that I've enjoyed.
I can't say I've ever heard of Planet Hulk. I mean, I watched the Planet
movie.
No, I'm going to say I watched the series growing up. The three I really watched. One was the Hulk. One was Spider-Man, and
the live-action Spider-Man.
No, the 1990s animated series.
The best ever.
They were good, mate. I enjoyed them. But that said, though, I've got into the Spectacular Spider-Man because my youngest AJ, he saw it on Amazon Instant Video. And it was like, Spider-Man, so I put it on. And actually, when I first watched it, I listened to the theme tune, and this is nothing like a Spider-Man theme tune. And then after watching a couple of episodes, I was actually like, yeah, actually, this isn't that bad. They've kept the storyline pretty similar to the original Spider-Man, so they've just given him a different name, and obviously different, well, I'd say different. They've sort of merged the Amazing Spider-Man and the original Spider-Man together. So, it's not bad to watch, but it's not the same.
Is that the one where he joins forces with Nova and Luke Cage and the other one?
That's the Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's
okay.
But yeah, so and the other one I used to watch, which actually I did post something on the Facebook group, is how Disney are, because obviously Disney bought out Marvel, didn't they, a few years back? How Disney are trying to bury the X-Men. Because they were another one that I actually watched growing up, and I found out the other day.
It was brilliant.
Yeah, mate, the X-Men was great.
That was awesome.
I found out the other week they're actually going to do a comic book series based on the 1990s animated TV series.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're going to do a whole comic book section. So I was like, do you know what? I might have to start picking them up.
Nice.
So, yeah, they're going to be good. But apparently, I mean, I haven't kept up with the X-Men comics in a long time, and apparently they've actually killed Wolverine off.
Yeah.
I heard about that.
Death of Wolverine came out, what was it, about 2 months ago?
That's just wrong.
They're killing Deadpool next.
Yeah, they can't kill Deadpool.
Issue 250 is going to be the death. Although there's been plenty of times where you've seen them essentially dying. There was a thing on IGN, was it last week, when they were showing the multiple ways of killing Deadpool.
I don't think Deadpool can die.
He can, technically. But
any superhero can die.
Yeah, anyone can die apart from Superman, who I actually hate.
Kryptonite, sorry.
Fag.
I will kill Superman.
No, I'm sorry, but let's be honest, right? A superhero who has super speed, super strength, laser eyes, I don't know, tons of other different things that he's got. And what's the one thing that can weaken and kill him? Something that's found on an alien rock.
Yeah, but
Crystal.
imagine if like Hawkeye or Arrow came along and just shot him with an arrow full of kryptonite.
Well,
Goodbye, Superman.
Yeah, that would technically probably take him out. I mean, if they play it right in the Batman versus Superman films and the obviously Justice League films when they come out, originally Superman actually gave Batman a kryptonite ring, and he says, "If I ever go rogue, you're the guy to take me down."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he could. Batman is basically the badass of the DC world, if you like.
I've just recently read Smallville Series 11, Volume 2, and it's an introduction of Batman into the sort of Smallville world. And Batman takes him down with red sunlight.
Red what?
Red sunlight. Because there's the whole theory of if you've got the Kryptonian sun, you cannot gain your powers from the Earth sun.
Oh, yeah.
And he generates the red sunlight into his suit and manages to kind of have a half decent fight with him until Superman kind of just walks up to him and pings him with his finger, and he then smashes into the wall. But hey,
The almighty Superman flick, strikes again. But yeah, moving on. I'll go with Steph next. What's your favourite superhero?
Iron Man, and I love Iron Man. One, because the actor's hot, obviously. Oh, come on, it's obvious, but
You do realise she's 50
I
now.
like Iron Man because I don't really care if he's fit or not. But Iron Man is my favourite superhero because it's fact, he hasn't got any superpowers. He's like Batman, no superpowers. He's just got like a butt ton of money, and he just goes out and builds these suits, and he can do whatever he wants. He can be a superhero. He can go out to space, and like in the first Avengers film, he's the one who like saved everyone. I don't care what the superheroes did. He's like a badass hero. He's not a stereotypical hero either. He's like he's his own person. He's like sarcastic, and yeah, he's a bit like me. I quite like him.
but at the same time, would you not say that? And I've seen this on quite a few different things, that he does technically have a superhero by how intelligent he is.
Oh no, I agree with that. With his intelligence, it does make him a superhero. But even with his intelligence, he is someone with money. He's not unlike Superman, who's got his powers, and Spider-Man, who got bitten by a spider. Iron Man, the way he became a superhero, yes, it's his intelligence to build his suits, but it's the fact it's his suits what make him the superhero.
That's a fair point. I mean, I was going to say Iron Man myself, but after rethinking it, I know who my favourite is, but I have to agree. I mean, I in the Marvel universe, Iron Man is definitely my favourite, and I think half of what you've said is very true. I mean, he's a very charismatic character. Charismatic. That's the word, not charismatic. It took me forever to learn incendiary grenades. I used to call them incendiary. So but yeah. I think he's definitely probably my favourite in the Marvel universe. I mean,
yeah, but to be fair, if we're splitting it between Marvel and DC, on the DC universe, Arrow's my favourite.
Oh right.
Yeah, for probably the same reasons.
He's hot.
There you go.
Survived an island.
So to be your favourite superhero, all you need to do is look good in spandex.
No, Arrow wears leather.
Same difference.
That he's got going there.
No, but if we're going to DC universe, it is Arrow for the fact. But I'm going purely on the TV series and not the comics. But he survived an island for 5 years. He came back and he followed. I don't know how much spoilers I can give. Can I give spoilers?
Go
season 1, yeah.
Yeah.
Season 1. He came back in season 1, like trying to get avenge his father, and then at the end of it, he like completely changed into I can't kill anyone, and I highly respect him for it. Because if you watch season 2, he's like really like when Deathstroke gets involved, he doesn't want to kill him, even though Deathstroke is a complete arse, and he just doesn't want to kill him. And I respect Arrow for that.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, I agree, and that actually continues into season 3, which I know you haven't watched yet, so I won't give any more details. But that's to be the way that he's going, and he's really tested in season 3. So
absolutely,
when you get there, you'll enjoy it.
I'm planning to watch it at some point, but I've got to wait for someone else to catch up with me.
For me, if we have to do this, my favourite Marvel superhero has to be Captain America.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, we're all waiting.
Because
She has
he's
to be
hot.
Captain America because she's hot.
Oh yeah. I really love bad boys that run around wearing the American flag. Yeah.
You
So
heard it
you're
here
saying
first.
as well.
Too bad Brady's not here, Dan.
No, the real reason is because he fought for his country and he wanted nothing but to fight for his country. He didn't want to kill, just stop bullies. He's a figurehead for freedom, as we will see in Captain America Civil War coming out next year. Oh yeah, I'm all the way with Captain America with his anti-registration policy. Actually, where are
Well,
you guys with that?
That depends on if they go that way with it, because there's been several different things that they've said, and they've not got the cast to do Civil War in the way the graphic novel is.
Then they shouldn't be making it.
They have got the cast, but they haven't at the same time. From what I've read, Civil War will be the one which makes part one of the next Avengers film, not Age of Ultron, the Infinite
Infinity
War.
Wars.
Yeah, when that will make basically half of the original Avengers be missing from the first half of that film, or from the
Yeah.
first part of the two parts of the film. They will only return within the second part, which will obviously allow them to introduce a lot more newer characters. But I think they are going to go down the right route with Civil War. I mean, I've seen some of the artwork. I did actually post one on my own Twitter not long ago, where it shows Iron Man's hand holding Captain America's, well, not helmet, what do you call it, his cap, so to speak. He's not really got a mask, has he? It's more of a cap on his head, his
It's
eye. Yeah.
cowl.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, so, it was holding that. So I think they are going to go down that route. I mean, there have been several leaked storylines which have had bits change every time. I mean, I think originally as well, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, I might be getting this wrong because I've read a lot of Marvel stuff, leakage and stuff like that recently. Now, I can't remember if it was actually in Civil War film or if it's going to be in Age of Ultron, but one of them, they were actually meant to be killing off Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
now,
could be Apocalypse, right?
I can't remember which one it was. I think it might have been Civil War. They originally wrote him out of it about halfway through the film. Now, since then, a new release of the script has been leaked, and he doesn't die. So, I think he's in it for a bit of a long haul now. So,
Well, the thing is with Quicksilver, I'm pretty sure they're trying to keep him for Inhumans.
yeah, well, it would make
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
It would make sense because the Inhumans is going to be a huge one. I mean, who watches Agents of Shield?
Yeah,
They-
I've only watched episode 2. Well, of the second half of the season.
Right, see, I haven't watched the second half of second season yet. I'm only on about sort of 6, but I've kept up to date with stuff on the internet and that sort of jazz. And we all know that obviously Sky is technically one of the Inhumans.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's quick.
Yeah.
So, with any luck, they will do that justice and bring her into it as well. They have to.
Oh
really.
yeah, she's awesome.
And I think
I'd
that
like to see
they've
her.
used Agents of Shield as a very, very big platform to introduce a few characters into the
Yeah.
world. So, I mean, I've got to be honest, I started watching it the other night, catching up with it all and stuff, and I watched about the first 3 episodes, and I thought to myself, this is really, really slow. And I've got to about episode 6 now, and it's like, actually, no, this is starting to pick up and get better. But I think it's one of them that you have to keep watching it to understand some of the stuff that's within the films.
Do you think we're gonna see Black Bolt in Agents of Shield?
I don't think we'll
No.
see him in Agents of Shield.
I don't.
He'll be in
I'm
the
only,
film Inhumans.
I'm only on season 1 of Agents of Shield because of Walking Dead and Arrow.
Ah, well,
Keep
it
going.
gets
It gets better. It
It's
gets
But
better.
epic.
I read the spoilers.
One thing, and it was something that I've seen today, like kind of sticking with the character integration. Now, it's been hinted at that Captain Marvel is supposed to be coming into Age of Ultron.
I heard
What-
about that.
One theory that I've seen is because there's not been any other cast announcements, and it would be a shame for Carol Danvers, but what if Scarlett Johansson, aka Black Widow, becomes Captain Marvel to progress into having powers?
Does Black
It's-
Widow
it's-
turn into Captain Marvel in the
Not,
comics?
not in the comics, but in order to get that character involved,
I don't know. I don't know whether they'd take it away that far. You know what I mean?
I don't like that.
They've kept quite close so
yeah,
far.
they have with most of the characters' sort of origin stories, but it's a fact of trying to keep Black Widow with her lack of sort of superpowers in the mix.
I
Yeah,
think
it's
she.
true.
I have a feeling she's probably. You know how they're hinting that one Avenger is gonna die. What happens if it's Black Widow?
Well, she's getting her own film.
I'll be very
She's-
sad.
Well, there's not been an announcement of a Black Widow film, but
That's
there has been
rumoured, isn't
There's the Captain Marvel film has been.
Didn't
The
they
other
ask
thing is,
Angelina Jolie to direct that?
Yeah, I heard about that.
she's also confirmed for Winter Soldier, not Winter Soldier, Civil War, so she's not going to die in Age of Ultron.
Oh, okay then. The theory debunked.
Luke,
Yes.
who's your favourite superhero?
Right. Okay. So Marvel, you already know that I like Iron Man. DC wise, I've got to be honest, and I've read most of the comics now as well after watching the TV show. It has to be Flash.
Flash
I am-
is brilliant.
I am
Which Flash?
really. It's got to be Barry Allen.
Oh, okay.
It's got to be. Purely because I think they're doing the TV series very well. They haven't stuck to said storyline from comics very well. They have brought people in from left, right, and centre, and not really. It's like with at the minute. Obviously, they haven't announced him much within the show, but he looks like he's going to come into it a lot in the next few episodes. Is Grodd? That's a completely different twist on the storyline. But I think what they've done with the TV show is absolutely amazing. I mean, I watched Arrow and I was a bit hesitant to watch Flash, and I was like, I might not like it. And then I thought, I got to that point in season 3 where they crossed over, and I went, because it turned around and went, previously on the Flash and Arrow, and I went, oh, great, now I've got to watch the Flash. So I started watching Arrow for a bit, turned the Flash on, I couldn't start watching it. I watched it straight through, and then started watching Arrow again. And
That's what I'm planning to do with Flash.
yeah, I mean, it's very good.
Because-
Once you start, you won't stop watching it. It's absolutely fantastic.
Well, because I think, at the beginning with season 2 spoiler, but when he first got introduced, he was like someone so he's really bad with timing and all that.
Yeah.
And I think the way Arrow portrayed, Arrow portrayed Flash, like when he started, I thought that was like really, really good. I think that's like the best introduction of a superhero.
See, when I first saw
Of ev-
Barry Allen, then obviously the whole. I can say this without giving too much away because everyone's going to know the origin stories of Flash anyway. Basically, Flash gets to make Flash. Barry Allen ends up getting hit by a streak of lightning, which then knocks him back onto chemicals which make the lightning bond with his body.
Wait, but you missed a bit with the Star Labs.
It's,
I can't remember what it's called.
yeah, but that's not necessarily an origin piece. It is
I thought
in.
it was with the Arrow series. Is like
It is in the
got him
series.
started.
Yeah, it is in the
But I
series.
thought because with that we created other super mutants, and that's what Flash is fighting in the TV series. I haven't watched the TV series Flash yet, but that's what I gathered from it.
Yes, but to cut a long story short, basically, Star Labs create a particle accelerator. It explodes. Barry Allen gets covered in chemicals and struck by a streak of lightning, and hence becomes the Flash and works with Star Labs, who, they also have an alternate motive as to why they've hired him, etc. But that all gets explained. I'm not going to go into any more detail with that. But yes, as far as I know, I mean, I've only read the New 52s. But before that, I sort of did a bit of research online as to what the comic background was, and there was no Star Labs particle explosion, as far as I'm aware, in the background to the comics. It was basically just a streak of lightning hit him, and he ended up on chemicals. But as soon as I saw that in the Arrow at the end of the episode, I went, "Do you know what? That's going to be the Flash." As soon as I said it, and that was before they announced
the difference between Reverse Flash and Flash?
Right. The main difference between the Flash and the Reverse Flash is about 5 centuries.
Oh.
Yes, the Reverse Flash is from the future. The Flash is from the present. And basically, they end up. There's something in the comics which is called the Speed Force, and they're both linked to it. Basically, it means that they can both time travel. And the Flash is basically his alter ego is the Reverse Flash, and they are basically forever battling it out. That's the way it is. Which they bring the Reverse Flash in straight away in the Flash series, which is actually really good. As I said the other night to a friend, I would like to see how they're going to top it in season 2. I mean, reading the comics is quite a lot they could still bring into it. I mean, they haven't brought half the enemies in yet, really. But that said, they've got to try and make it. Yeah, they've got to try and make it as exciting. I mean, I hope they don't kill Grodd off straight away because he's got quite a big piece. He's quite a big villain.
He's good. The thing is, like, the way that they've introduced the Reverse Flash now, I've just watched the episode The Trickster. I wouldn't give anything away, but look, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That episode was just
That is
phenomenal.
the best episode ever.
How to bring in a character and take a character away.
Yeah.
Best way I can put it.
Yeah.
And that's still not a spoiler.
Yeah.
But that was amazing. They've done a mixture between flashbacks to current events and with a different storyline going on at the exact same time.
It was such a good episode.
In a 40-minute episode, they crammed in so much, but it made that episode the best of the series.
Yeah.
And it will be very difficult to top that, I think.
That said, though, if you watch the trailer that I posted on the Facebook group,
yes,
my God, just the fact there's going to be more crossovers, Firestorm comes back, mate, it's going to be. I've got a funny feeling the last couple of episodes of both series are going to go out with a bang, and the fact as well, I found out the other day. Obviously, Steph won't know this yet. Ray Palmer.
Yep.
I won't say his real character name within the story because I don't want to give it away too much for Steph. He will also be getting his own spin-off series.
Yes, that's actually been announced for quite a little while now.
See, I didn't know that.
There's also I don't know. I can't give say much on this because there's a character that's supposed to be that is in Arrow that will be joining Ray Palmer in his spin-off series.
Yes.
But as a task for yourself, Luke, and we can discuss it off the podcast.
Yeah.
But go and look up who it is that's supposed to be joining him, and then give me your feedback on it.
Right. Is it just that? Is it a main character? Or is it someone they've just recently introduced, or someone's been in a while?
I would say that it's a secondary character.
Right.
That's in Arrow. That's all I can really say without spoiling it for anyone.
Is it Black Canary?
Okay. So on that,
other people,
I'm
if you
sad,
want to
it can't be
speculate,
Canary, I'll tell you that now.
stick it in the comments.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Stick it below in the comments, or come and join us on the Facebook page and have you say there, because we'd like to know who you think it's going to be. Or obviously, if you do know who it is, then please come over and shout it out so that everyone else can find out who it is. But I think that's a good place to wrap this one up and move on to probably the next topic now. So topic number 2 this week, we are going to be talking about something that we sort of touched upon last week, and that's Hunt the Truth. Now, personally, I haven't been keeping up with it very well. I know that a few guys here have been, so I'll let you guys take the lead on this one.
Well, we did say in the podcast we'll mention it weekly until Halo 5 is out.
That's true, but I just haven't had the time to look at it. I just spent 2 days editing this thing last week, so give me a bit of slack.
Oh, don't worry, I haven't listened to it either. I've been too busy at work.
That's all right then.
So I'll take in the Halo 5 feedback on. I've been following this from the 1 o'clock in the morning UK time when I watched. It's a really interesting sort of a few things that have come out. We've now got some Dear Diary screenshots that have came out. Although a lot of people that have only been listening to the sort of interviews that have happened on the sort of Sunday and looking at it on the Monday, something news came out recently. I don't know when this is. We're looking at this on Friday night, so it's in the past 4 days. But there is now a image that's of Last Planet. It gives you a bit of a description of what Benjamin Garrod has actually seen when he's actually touched base, and the devastation that's actually caused on the planet when they are glass. So you get a bit more of an understanding of what's happened to John's planet.
I'd just like to put my oar in here. When people say glass planets, I was expecting it to be all sparkly and made of glass, and it actually isn't. It's just a big mess.
Yeah.
When you said it, I thought about the bottle of glass and Destiny.
We're not allowed to bash Destiny this week, so just stay off it.
No, I'm not saying no. I can have glass planet looking all pretty and all that, full of glass.
There is a shout out that I need to give to Darren. He'll know exactly who I'm talking about. We apologise for the abuse that we gave Destiny. There are some of us that are bored of it. There's some that have not experienced them level rage, so can't give our full comments, but are more than happy to invite you along one evening, and you can give your viewpoint on Destiny.
I don't apologise for my views on Destiny. You spent too much hours on Destiny, so I think I stand by my opinion.
Yeah, just to point out here, like they do at the beginning of videos when you listen to commentaries, that the comments made here are that of the person and not of the Geeks and Gamers group.
Yes.
Okay,
Exactly.
so personally, Steph might not apologise, and I don't particularly like Destiny, but others do. So therefore, it's personal opinion, and if we offended anyone in the previous podcast, then
I
we
apologise
we
for
do
offending people
apologise.
then. I
I
apologise for
can't
offending, but I
I
don't
can't
apologise for
fanboy,
my
it's fine.
humor.
He had his own wee cry. So back to Halo news anyway. So we've got another recording of interviews. His author has actually went back to the girl after he spoke to her the first time, and there was the whole thing about John reaching the age of 12, but there was some sort of theory of him dying when he was 6 years old. One of the girls that did hang about with John when he was younger had left the planet, or it sort of got glassed. When they then caught up and had a bit of a communication, the girl that left the planet says that John died when he was 6. The girl that stayed on the planet said that he left at 12. And that's kind of where we're sitting with Hunt the Truth.
It's the clown who died, right?
Yeah,
I've
that's
no
the
idea.
theory behind it. That Grady did touch on this. Obviously, he's not here today, so he can't put his input. So more for
Shout out
you,
to
Grady.
Grady. Get better soon.
Yeah, big shout out to Grady. Hope you feel better, mate. But you should be here giving your point.
Yes,
Exactly.
even if you like they're thrown up, you could still have made a
Yeah,
point.
you know, there's nothing wrong with on the actual podcast. That's fine. There we
It
go.
could
Look,
be
there's going to be a
edited,
bit
it's
there.
fine.
So, but no, more to the point. Yeah, one of the theories is that they cloned the children that they took, didn't they? But the clones didn't survive very long after being put back out into the world. So
Yeah.
that is definitely a theory as to who or what is happening. Obviously, like I said, I haven't kept up with Hunt the Truth, so I can't speak on behalf of what's been written and broadcast on that actual website.
There's a couple of other things, like he comes back, or when he's a bit older in the very first sort of episodes, they're talking about John like sort of ending up in fights and taking on people and things like that at a young age, but it's after the age of 6. So
Which
could it
would-
technically be?
Yeah, which would indicate that there was some clone processor or
Yeah,
some
but
sort of
is it the clone that survived?
yeah.
And created clones overall.
Well, it's true. I
But
mean,
if you read the books, you should know.
yeah. Well, I've read
You know-
read the first one. You know, I haven't gone into depth. I mean, as I said the other week, I've only actually read the first Halo book. I've read the Gears books, and I do enjoy reading. It's just I don't get the time between now doing this and I game far too much and watching TV series and everyday
then
life. I
kids.
just don't find time to read, even though I probably should. There's a lot of stuff I would like to catch up on. I end up sort of, just sort of drifting the books away. Even though it's like, I'll be honest with you, I watched the series on the TV Under the Dome, and I quite enjoy that. And I thought, do you know what? I'll read the actual novel it's based on. And I bought it off Amazon. I think I got it for 99p used, and I basically just used it as a door wedge. It's never actually been read. It's just sat upstairs doing nothing. I'll be honest, watching TV series for me is quite a new thing because it started off actually watching Agents of Shield. I wasn't very well for a week or so, and it got to the point where I just didn't feel like playing on the Xbox or chatting to anyone. So I just messaged my mates and says, look, I'm not going to be on for a while. I'm not feeling very well. I'm going to just sit back and watch some TV series. So that's when I started watching Agents of Shield and Arrow, and since then I've actually started watching quite a bit more TV than what I would have done normally. I mean, I've always had the odd program that me and my missus, we sit down and we watch, like Supernatural, the originals. I'll even say Vampire Diaries because we watched that until the originals came out, and we've same with Bones as well. Actually, we watched them, and there was always that sort of stuff that we sort of sat together and watched. But I never really watched anything on my own. It was more as soon as we finished watching it, I'd go on the Xbox or whatever. So, but yeah, that to me, I would imagine maybe when I hit my midlife crisis, I'll start reading books and then catch up with everything.
That's better than buying a car.
Well, it's true. It's true.
You should ask Grady for some tips.
Yeah, maybe I will. Grady, if you've got any tips, put them in the comment.
Poor Grady, he's still young.
Is this pick on Grady night rather than pick on Dan night?
Well, let's be honest. One of the oldest here, I'd say. Maybe.
You are. I think Paul's older than you.
And Grady's older than me. I'm 28.
Right.
Grady is granddad.
So yeah.
I'm just the mummy because I'm the only female.
So I'm 24. Yeah.
Midlife crisis 24 shop.
Yeah, that is a midlife crisis.
No, I'm 24. I'm not going through a midlife crisis yet.
But yeah, anyway, midlife crisis over. Back to Hunt the Truth. Have we got anything more to add on the situation? Anyone else got anything to put in there?
Just the next episode that will be coming up on from my side anyway is Sunday evening.